Hi, my name is Stephen Nolan, Managing Director of the UN-convened Financial Centres for Sustainability. And with great pleasure, all this week I've also performed as the chair of this year's 4th Climate Finance Week Ireland, which has been a huge pleasure for me to do. Climate Finance Week is an output of the Ireland for Finance strategy, and I want to just thank the Department of Finance who have co-hosted and co-organised this event with us this week for making it so special and for really moving the dial on and the how of sustainable finance. It's also been part of the Irish road to COP26. COP26 is a big deal in the world of climate and climate finance, and that takes place in the next few weeks. And of course, along with the Department of Finance, this week would not have been possible without our headline partner, AIB. So a big thank you to AIB, their leadership, Mary, Yvonne, Sarah, and of course their Chief Executive, Colin Hunt. Thank you to AIB for supporting us. As I bring proceedings to an end, I just want to take a moment to recap about what happened during the week. It's been a busy week. There's been over 40 events, 105 speakers, and it started, of course, on Monday with AIB's 5th AIB Sustainability Conference, beating the climate deadline. James Cameron, the producer of Titanic, was a keynote speaker on the day, but also importantly and critically, Colin announced a doubling of the AIB Climate Action Fund from 5 billion to 10 billion euro, which is hugely significant in supporting Ireland's transition to a net zero economy. On Monday afternoon as well, Minister Donoghue was good enough to launch Ireland's first National Sustainable Finance Roadmap, a roadmap that's been co-developed with UNFCFRS and Sustainable Finance Ireland over the last 6 months. It had 18 actions which will really underpin Ireland's transition to a low-carbon economy, also within Europe and further afield as we focus on those actions around sustainable finance. Tuesday was Ireland's 4th ESG Day, and we were delighted to see Ireland announce their climate action plan and also recognise Fiona Reynolds, the CEO of the UN Principles for Responsible Investment, with the annual Irish ESG Award, which was a super thing to do, and we're delighted that she accepted it. On Wednesday, all about COP26. As I already mentioned a few moments ago, taking place in less than 3 weeks. It's a critical point in the world's climate action agenda, and looking forward to participating. COP26 on Wednesday was all about climate and the race to net zero, and what is Ireland doing within that. One of the key things linked back to the COP private finance sector agenda around the TCFD was the announcement with Bloomberg of over 30 Irish firms are now signed up to the TCFD recommendations, which is a huge achievement, and I want to congratulate my colleague, Colette Coogan, for driving that over the line over the last few months. Mike Bloomberg was also good enough to join us, and again he was good enough to accept the annual Climate Finance Week Climate Action Leadership Award, which was just super, and thank you to Mayor Bloomberg for accepting that. On Thursday, Talent and Innovation Day, a really interesting day, and the big output there was, along with FSI and Sustainable Finance Ireland, supported by Skillnet Ireland, we saw the launch of the world's first course for compliance officers in the area of sustainability, which is great to see, and really bringing together 2 pillars of the roadmap, talent and industry readiness, and that was a great day and so much happening across Thursday. To Friday, an interesting day. I'm just closing it out now, really focused on practitioners and what accountants and others are doing in this space, and we were thrilled as a team to see earlier on today the launch of the Green Team Network's Green Pledge to help companies work towards sustainability. And that was super to see that happen this morning. As we move through the week, a lot of things have been happening in terms of attendees, social media, so maybe I can just unpack some of those statistics for you. Where we were in terms of stats, we had several thousand people attend. I think it was over 5,000 people across the week, which is just super and builds on last year's successes and numbers. In terms of social media, it was 9.8 million social media impressions, which is just staggering when one thinks about it. In terms of actual content watched, what was super to see, 23 million minutes worth of content was watched across the week, which is just absolutely phenomenal when one thinks about it. So where we were 4 years ago, one day, has now really turned into this beast of a week. And it was great to be part of this week. It was great to be part of the team that pulled it together. I have to thank Euro Events for their leadership and doing all of this and making this so special and so seamless for us, and for Trish in particular for actually pushing us each day to be our best as we delivered on this agenda. I want to just recognise also my own colleagues in Sustainable Finance Ireland, in particular Paddy, Colette, Liz, Sheila, Michelle, Raheem, and of course the person who conducted the entire week and made this happen, Catherine Daly, and we owe her a huge debt that she's actually built up Climate Finance Week to what it is this year. So I'm in this huge studio. We're about to wrap up. The key thing that we're seeing across the week was a real focus on skills, data, product innovation, conversions of public policy and regulatory actions, and the enabling power of digital, and how that is all coming together. Going back to the roadmap, is that Ireland's action number one of the Ireland's first national sustainable finance roadmap is the establishment of an international sustainable finance centre of excellence along with the UN, and we hope next year when we're back that we can show the progress that centre is already making. In closing, a big theme that kept coming up across the week was timelines and targets, in this case 2030. That's what we hear we talk about. To 2030, can we achieve A, B and C? That's the deadline. That's 9 years away. And one of the challenges that was really pulled out this week when we looked at that deadline was, is that breeding complacency in terms of 9 years away? The world is warming too fast. We have to act now. Time is not on our side. And if we look out to 2030 and we're all aiming there, as I said, that may breed complacency. So for us, I think that's the key message for me to take away this week is we don't have until 2030 as the financial services sector. We need to move faster. We need to pull back that time. We need to get industry ready. We need to have that enabling environment, talent, digital, all have a role to play. And this is why Climate Finance Week is so important in really focusing on the how and supporting Irish industry to go faster and accelerate what they're doing. And again, I'll re-emphasise it, or I'll emphasise it, the centre, the International Sustainable Finance Centre of Excellence within Ireland, in partnership with the UN, is going to become a phenomenal resource to support industry, the regulatory bodies, the policymakers here in Ireland to move that dial faster, but not just in Ireland, in Europe and further afield in emerging markets. So in closing, I want to come back to the Department of Finance and thank them for support, thank them for including Climate Finance Week under the Ireland for Finance strategy. That's what really makes it special. But of course, along with our sponsors during the week, which are really supporting us get to where we need to be, we cannot forget where I started earlier on, AIB. AIB doubling the Climate Action Fund from 5 billion to 10 billion, and so many different things across the week. And at the risk of embarrassing Colin Hunt, the CEO of AIB, he is showing real, tangible leadership on this agenda, and that is filtering down through his company and through his organisation. And AIB are really in the vanguard of sustainable finance leadership. So thank you, Colin. Thank you, AIB, for supporting this week. And thank you for allowing us to build it to this scale that has now become an international event. As I said, with just under 10 million social media impressions. So thank you to the team. Thank you to your events. Thank you to Catherine Daly and colleagues. And thank you to AIB and the department for making this happen. Thank you and have a great weekend.